Is the Emerald City truly a dream, or is it a financial nightmare waiting to happen for families? Forget the dream of a comfortable middle-class life. We're talking about a city where even a substantial income feels like treading water against a relentless tide of expenses. This isn't just about high cost of living. This is about a system that actively pushes families to the brink, where saving is a luxury and a single unexpected bill can send you spiraling. We're talking cold, hard cash, and you're about to discover why that widely circulated notion of living here for under $10,000 a month with a family of four is not just a myth, it's a dangerous delusion. Prepare to have your hopes shattered, because the homeless trap in Seattle is very real, and it's catching more families than you might think. The rent nightmare, where your paycheck goes to die. The first and arguably most devastating blow to any family budget in Seattle is housing. Forget the idea of owning a home unless you're a tech millionaire. Even renting a modest 3-bedroom apartment, which a family of four would minimally need, is an astronomical undertaking. Current data for June 2025 shows that a 3-bedroom apartment outside the city center averages around $3,537 to $3,386 per month. If you dare to venture into the city center, you're looking at a jaw-dropping $4,663 to $4,461 per month. And let's be clear, these are averages. Many families find themselves paying significantly more for anything remotely spacious or in a decent school district. This isn't just a large chunk of your income. It's often more than half, or even 2/3, of what many families bring home. Imagine starting each month already thousands of dollars in the hole just for a roof over your head. It's not living. It's a constant, suffocating struggle. Beyond the roof, the hidden costs that haunt your budget. But rent, as soul-crushing as it is just the beginning. The comfortable life in Seattle that studies talk about for a family of four requires an annual income of nearly $298,000. That translates to over $25,000 per month. Our $10,000 budget is less than a third of that. The discrepancy isn't just significant. It's a gaping chasm that reveals the impossibility of the task. Childcare catastrophe. The unbearable weight of tiny humans. If you have 2 children and both parents work, a necessity in Seattle to even attempt to make ends meet, prepare for the child care shockwave. The average monthly cost for a private full-day preschool or kindergarten for one child in Seattle is over $2,250 for 2 children. You're looking at a staggering $4,500 per month at a minimum. This single expense alone consumes more than half of our hypothetical $10,000 budget, leaving virtually nothing for anything else. For infants, the cost is even higher, averaging around $3,449 per month per child. This isn't just expensive. It's a system designed to punish families, forcing many to choose between career aspirations and financial solvency. It effectively traps one parent, usually the mother at home, further reducing the household income and tightening the financial noose. Grocery Gauntlet. Eating your way to debt. Feeding a family of four in Seattle isn't about healthy, varied meals. It's about strategic survival. Forget organic produce and gourmet treats. You'll be playing a constant game of price comparison, clipping coupons, and making difficult compromises. While some sources suggest monthly groceries for a family can be around $600 to $800, others, focusing on minimum recommended amounts, point to around $580 per person per month for food. For a family of four, even at the lower end, you're looking at $2,320 per month for basic food necessities, if you aim for the minimum recommended diet. Realistically, with growing children and a desire for anything beyond the bare minimum, a family of four could easily spend $1,000 to $1,500 on groceries alone. This doesn't account for any dining out, which, if indulged, will quickly decimate any remaining funds. A single meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant can set you back $120. A quick fast food meal can still be $14 per person. Eating out in Seattle isn't a casual luxury. It's a dangerous financial indulgence. Transportation travesty. Getting around without going broke. Even getting around Seattle is a financial minefield. While a monthly public transportation pass is around $99 per person, a family of four would spend nearly $400 just on passes. If you own a car, factor in gas at over $4.40 per gallon, insurance, maintenance, and the ever-present problem of parking. A taxi ride starts at $2.60 and adds $2.70 per mile. Unless you live and work along major transit lines and never venture outside of them, owning a car becomes a necessity for many families, adding hundreds, if not over $1,000 a month in expenses. The freedom of personal transportation comes with a heavy price tag. Utility ugly, the bill that never ends. Basic utilities for a 915 square foot apartment, including electricity, heating, cooling, water, and garbage, average around $280 per month. Add in a mobile phone plan for two adults, at least $60 per month each, and internet, around $78 per month, and you're easily looking at another $500 just to keep the lights on and stay connected. These aren't optional extras. They're fundamental necessities, yet they chip away relentlessly at an already fragile budget. Healthcare horror, a sickness away from destitution. Healthcare in the U.S. is a terrifying prospect for many, and Seattle is no exception. While direct monthly premiums vary greatly based on plans and subsidies, even with employer-sponsored plans, deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket maximums can be crippling. For a family of four, even a relatively healthy one, unforeseen medical expenses can easily spiral into thousands of dollars. A single emergency room visit can cost hundreds or thousands. Routine checkups, prescriptions, and dental care all add up. Without robust insurance, a serious illness or accident could quickly wipe out any savings and plunge a family into insurmountable debt. Factor in potential out-of-pocket maximums of $6,000 per family for some plans, and you quickly see how even good insurance can still leave you exposed. The Miscellaneous Massacre, everything else that breaks the bank. Beyond the big-ticket items, 1,000 tiny cuts bleed a Seattle family's budget dry. Think about clothes for growing kids, school supplies, haircuts, household repairs, personal care items, and any semblance of entertainment or leisure. A pair of jeans is $70, running shoes $118. A monthly gym membership is $81. A single movie ticket is $16. These aren't luxuries. They're part of a normal, functioning family life. But in Seattle, they become impossible choices. Every single discretionary dollar is scrutinized, leading to a constant state of deprivation and stress. The idea of saving for a down payment, retirement, or even an emergency fund becomes a cruel joke. The income illusion, why Seattle is unlivable for most. Let's do the math on conservative estimate for a family of four, assuming minimal spending and no major emergencies. Rent, 3-bedroom outside city center, $3,500. Child care, 2 children, $4,500. This is if you have children young enough for preschool. If they are school-aged, then there is school tuition ranging from $15,000 to $40,000 annually per child. For public schools, there are still school-related expenses, extracurriculars, etc., but less. Groceries, $1,000. Transportation, public transit for $400. Utilities and internet, $500. Healthcare, estimated out-of-pocket for monthly incidentals / premiums $500. This is a very conservative estimate and doesn't account for high deductibles or serious illness. Miscellaneous, bare minimum for personal care, household, clothes, no entertainment $500. Total estimated monthly cost, $10,900. Even with these incredibly tight, almost punitive estimates, we are already at $10,900 per month. This figure does not include any form of dining out, savings for college, retirement planning, emergency funds, any significant entertainment or recreational activities, vacations, new cars or major purchases, unforeseen expenses, car repairs, home repairs, sudden medical needs, etc., debt repayment, student loans, credit cards, any money for hobbies or personal enrichment. The $10,000 budget is not just insufficient. It's a fantasy. It doesn't even cover the absolute basic necessities for a family of four to live with dignity. To even approach that budget, a family would need to make unimaginable sacrifices. The stark reality, a pathway to poverty. Living in Seattle for less than $10,000 a month for a family of four isn't just difficult. It's effectively a pathway to poverty, even for those with what would be considered a decent income elsewhere. It means living paycheck to paycheck, constantly one emergency away from financial collapse. It means denying your children opportunities, sacrificing your own well-being, and living under immense, constant stress. The homeless trap isn't a hypothetical concept in Seattle. It's a chilling reality for far too many. The city's economic boom has created a paradise for a select few, but for the majority, it's a high-cost cage. So, no, you could not live in Seattle for less than $10,000 a month for a family of four. It's time to stop romanticizing the city and start acknowledging the profound financial crisis that impacts its residents. The dream of Seattle is increasingly reserved for those with extraordinary wealth, leaving everyone else struggling to survive in its shadow. Homelessness is a complex issue plaguing many cities worldwide, and Seattle is no exception. According to the 2024 point-in-time count conducted by King County Regional Housing Authority, an estimated 68,385 individuals were experiencing homelessness in Seattle and King County on a single night. This represents a significant increase of 23% from the 2022 count. Even after adjusting for population growth, it's important to remember that these point-in-time counts are generally considered underestimates, suggesting the true number of homeless people could be even higher. Cost of homelessness in Seattle. Seattle has consistently dedicated significant resources to addressing homelessness. In 2020, the city budgeted a substantial amount, likely $1 billion for homeless services with focus on shelters. This investment has continued to grow in recent years. Data from 2022 suggests the city spends over $1.4 billion on homelessness, with sheltering costs forming a major portion. Sheltering a single adult can exceed $37,000 per year, and sheltering families can be even more expensive, reaching over $75,000 in 2022. The rising homeless population necessitates continued investment. The Department of Homeless Services proposed budget for fiscal year 2023 reflected this need, reaching $2 billion. Looking ahead, quantifying the exact cost of homelessness in Seattle for 2024 is difficult. However, estimates from the Budget Office suggest the city may require an additional $1 billion in 2024 for homeless services beyond what was initially budgeted. Poverty in Seattle. According to data, USA, an estimated 15.8% of Seattle's population, roughly 112,200 people out of a total of 715,000, live below the poverty line in 2022. This poverty rate is higher than the national average of 12.5%. It's important to note that poverty rates can vary depending on the source. State-level data from the Washington Office of Financial Management shows a statewide poverty rate of 14.4%. This discrepancy highlights the need to consider different data sources when understanding the scope of poverty. Data from the Seattle government website reveals that Black, Indigenous, and Hispanic communities experience poverty at a considerably higher rate compared to white residents. The data indicates that 18.9% of Black residents, 18.6% of Indigenous Americans, and 9.8% of Hispanics live in poverty, compared to just 5.7% of white residents. This highlights the racial and ethnic inequalities embedded within the city's economic landscape.